Hello students, so today we are going to start with a new chapter, that is tissues. So tissues have been classified into two parts, that is the plant and the animal tissues. Tissue. So basically first we are going to start up what do you mean by tissue. Okay, a tissue is a group of a similar cells performing up a specific function. So we have already completed our chapter, that is cell. So what is the function of the cell? The function of the cell is to form up the tissues. Okay, and the function of the tissues can lead to formation of an organ, and due to the formation of the organ we can form the organ system. Okay, and from this we can develop up an organism. So we have already completed up this part. Cell means a single. Okay, tissue means a group of cells. Okay, a group of cells, like this is a one cell, this is a group of cells. This group of cells is called as a tissues. Every tissues is a group of similar cells performing up a specific function. What do you mean by that? Suppose the tissues which are present inside your body will perform up that specific functions only. Okay, suppose the tissues which helps to form up your skin is going to form up your skin, or that cells will be quite responsible to form up the skin only. Okay, if suppose there is a formation of eye. Okay, so that particular cells are going to work. Okay, that particular tissues are going to work to form up that organ, that is eye. So first we are going to start up with, as the chapter is divided into two parts, I already said, that is the plant and the animal tissues. So first we are going to discuss about the plant tissues. The plant tissues are classified into two types, that is the meristematic tissues and the other one is the permanent tissues. Okay, what do you mean by the word meristematic? The word meristematic is a Greek word which means divided. Okay, these tissues are very active in nature. Okay, these tissues are very active in nature. Why they are active in nature? Because they have the ability to get divided. Suppose this is one cell, so out of this one cell two is going to form, and from this two cell four cells are going to form, and from 4 8 16 as on. Okay, the continuation of the process. This meristematic tissues helps in the growth of the plant. Okay, if the plant has to increase in diameter, that is by the sideways, like this, like in a horizontal way, so this meristematic is responsible. If a plant have to grow in this way, like the upward shoot and the downward root system, so then these meristematic tissues help them to grow in the horizontal way and at the same period of a time in a vertical way. Okay, but when this meristematic tissues start to divide, as I already said, okay, this is an active tissue. Okay, it start to divide, but at a particular period of a time this division gets stopped. Okay, this division gets stopped, and when this division gets stopped, these tissues would be said to be the permanent tissues. What is the function of the permanent tissues? First of all, the permanent tissues are those tissues which are permanent in nature. What do you mean by the word permanent? That means that it is going to remain same throughout from now. Okay, they are the specialized cell. Okay, and they are the non-dividing cell. And the permanent tissue, the function of the permanent tissue is to provide the protection to the plants. So let's understand them in detail. First we are going to understand where is this meristematic tissues are found. They are going to be found at all the growing points of the plant, such as the stem, roots and the branches, tips. Suppose I am going to make up the surface. This is the soil surface. Below the soil surface there would be the root system. Okay, then we are going to make up this stem region. Then suppose, as of now, just understand that this is a this is the leaf system. Okay, leaf system. So where are these meristematic tissues are found? They are found out here, because suppose this is a meristematic. Suppose, so they are present at the tip. The tip means at the topmost part. Okay, they are present at the tip of this root system. They are present at the tip of this stem system. What is the function then? Because if suppose, let's assume, if the meristematic tissues are present on this tip region like this, and what I said, the word meristematic means division. If it keeps on dividing, then what is going to happen? There would be an increase in the root and the stem system. Okay, and the branches, the lateral side of the plant. Okay, the branches will also get increase in the diameter. Okay, now they are present between the bark and the woods of the tree, where it helps to lead, where it helps to grow in the diameter of the stem. So see, this is the soil surface root system. Suppose stem, the leaf part. So I already mentioned that this is the region where the meristematic are present. This, and this side. Okay, they help to grow in a vertical way like this. But the second point, help to increase in a horizontal way like this. So that is why you can see the stem can grow in size, because the meristematic are present out here also. Okay, they are present at this junction, okay, at this tips, and they are present in this stem as well, which helps to allow the growth in the diameter of the stem. Okay, they can be grown in the vertical way and the horizontal way. Now see, as we were talking about the horizontal system, okay, the meristematic has been classified into 3 types, but according to your textbooks, according to your syllabus, we have only 2. That is the apical meristem and the lateral meristem. So let's understand them in detail. Okay, they are actually classified into 3, but according to your syllabus, we have only 2 in your textbook. Apical meristems. Apical meristems are present in your shoot apical meristem and the root apical meristem. I already mentioned of this signs. Okay, see this. See, it helps to grow upwards, it helps to grow downwards. Okay, because this works like these are present at the tip of the shoot system and tip of the root system. Okay, this was all about the apical meristem. And why they are called as the apical? Because the word apical means the top. Okay, the topmost part. Now there are the second, that is the lateral part. What is the work of this lateral? This lateral meristem is present or situated below the bark, and it is mainly responsible for to increase in diameter. We can see these purple arrows. See these arrows. They are like this horizontal way, so which helps to increase up the diameter of the stem. Okay, they are called as the lateral meristem or cambium. Okay, the other word may be cambium. Okay, and the apical also have a particular name, that is the terminal. Terminal means the last. Now let's understand about the meristematic first. Characteristics of the meristematic tissues. What are the features we are going to see? See, I have already mentioned of this word for you. Okay, this meristematic tissues, these are the tissues. Okay, this tissue are made up of the cells. Okay, the cells of the meristematics are very small in nature. Okay, they are usually cubical in nature. Cube, you might be aware. Okay, like this, this is the cubical nature. The cell wall is thin. Okay, for now you just keep it on hold. The nuclei are large. What is nuclei? Nuclei means nothing but the nucleus. Okay, many nucleus would be called as the nuclei, plural form. Vacuoles almost absent. Okay, now this is very strange. Vacuoles are quite larger in plant cell, right? But why the vacuoles are absent out here? See, what is the function of the vacuoles? The function of the vacuole is for the storage of the water and the mineral salt. But meristematic tissues functions for the division part. Okay, so when the meristematic starts to develop, so it does not need any vacuole, because the cells are going to get actively divide. Okay, as the cells are going to get actively divide, so no need of vacuole then. So because of this, the cell wall is thin and vacuoles are absent, because these meristematic tissues are not made for the protection. Okay, they are not made for the protection part. If the vacuoles are large and the cell wall is thick, so it would be made for the protection part. But as I already mentioned in the first part, meristematic tissues are not responsible for the protection. So that is why the cell wall is thin. And you might be aware what is a cell wall. This part of the plant is called the cell. Okay, we have already discussed about the 6 point. New cell transferred into mature permanent tissues. We have already said that there is one cell, out of that one cell 2 is going to arise, and out of 2 4 is going to get arise. Okay, so this will keep on actively divided, but for a particular period of a time only. After a particular period of a time, these new cells, suppose this is the end of the cells, now these 4 cells won't be divided into anything further, so they will take a permanent position. That permanent position is called as the permanent tissues. Okay, because these permanent tissues have taken up the specific shape, now they don't have the ability to divide. Okay, they don't have the ability to divide because they don't have the ability to divide, so they would be made for the protection, supporting and conducting system. Let's understand them. Now these are the permanent tissues. Okay, these tissues are made of the cells which has lost their ability to divide, because they are the transformed one. Okay, after the completion of the meristematic cell division, it stops and form into a permanent tissues. They are going to basically function for the 3 part, that is for the protection, supporting and the conducting system. Okay, let's understand them in detail one by one. First, protective tissues. As the word suggests, protection. So these types of tissues help with the protection because they have the thick walls. See, if the wall is quite thick, assume that this wall is quite thick. Okay, so what is going to happen? If the wall is quite thick, so definitely no damage will be occurred to the plants. Okay, and the cells as well as that plant will survive for a longer period of a time. So that is why the cells should be quite thick. They are found on the surface of the root, stems and leaf. Okay, found on the surface means where, suppose this is the root system. Okay, this is the stems and these are the leaves. So they are found somewhere here. Okay, on the surface means the outermost covering. Okay, here and here on the outermost side, on the surface, because their main function is for the protection, and while performing of the function of protection, it gets a perfect shape also. So that is why you can see many of the plants and trees, they are properly arranged. Okay, their structures are quite very much balanced, and at the same period of a time they are in a very much perfect condition also. Now we are going to talk about the supporting tissues. Okay, the second function. The word says support. So supportive tissues are made up of these three types. Okay, parenchyma and sclerenchyma. You have already heard about this word, that is the sclerenchyma. Let's talk about this parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma in detail right now. See, first of all, let's understand with a perfect diagram. This is the parenchyma tissue, collenchyma and sclerenchyma for you as of now. And this all are the cross section. Okay, cross section means they are cut in a horizontal position. Here they have thin wall. Okay, parenchyma has a thin wall. We can see out here only a single layer has been formed out here. Okay, here we can see out here only a single layer is formed, so the walls are thin. Okay, they contain a large amount of a vacuole. We can see this white color space. Okay, this white color space, they have the large vacuole. They are found in the soft parts of the plant, that is the cortex and the pit region. Cortex means the outermost part of the plants and pit means the central region. Okay, now let's talk about this collenchyma. They are the long cells. We can see the size of the cells. They are quite long in nature. Okay, they are quite long in nature. Okay, they have the thick cell wall. Okay, we can see, if you see the diagram perfectly and clearly, we can see of the two lining like this. Okay, two cell wall like this. This two cell walls helps to give up the thickening. Okay, and because of this thickening, the plants can get up the support. Okay, this sclerenchyma have a narrow cells. They are long and narrow like this. They are quite long, but at the same period of a time they are narrow like this, but they are long also and broad also as compared to sclerenchyma. Okay, and even their function is to provide the strength to the part of the plants. Let's discuss them one by one. Parenchyma have a large thin wall cell. They may be oval, circular or polygonal in shape. They have the single large vacuoles because they work for the supporting system. Okay, they are found in the cortex and in the pit region. What do you mean by that? Cortex and pit region. The cortex means the outer region. Okay, plant outer region, and pit means the central region of the plants. Okay, the outer region of the plants and the central region of the plants. This parenchyma is basically living cells. As this is a living cells, so they helps to store up food in the potatoes. Okay, they may store food in the potatoes. Why they can store up the food in the potatoes? Because they are living in nature. Okay, and they might provide the temporary support to the plants. Okay, temporary support means it is helping of the plants so that it can store up the food perfectly. Okay, this parenchyma tissue is made up of the parenchymatous cell. Okay, if this parenchyma cells contains of the chloroplast. See, we have already covered up this word before in the cell chapter. If suppose this parenchyma cells contains the chloroplast, so with the help of this chloroplast, it will get up the green color pigment. Okay, and when it is going to get the green color pigment, at that period of a time, it will be able to perform up the process of the photosynthesis. Okay, it will be able to perform up the process of the photosynthesis because the green plants can perform of the photosynthesis process. So this term is called as the chlorinchyma. Why it is called as the chlorinchyma? If suppose in the parenchyma cells there is the presence of the organelle, that is the chloroplast, so it would be termed as the chlorinchyma. chyma, and it will be able to perform of the production of the food by the help of the photosynthesis. Now we are going to talk about the collenchyma. The word colon is a Greek word which means glue. Glue. Okay, so we have already seen this part, that the cell wall is thick at the corner. Okay, they are thick at the corner. It is found in the leaf stalk and below the epidermis of the stems. Okay, where it is found? In the stem region, below the epidermis of the stem, and they are also found in the leaf stalk. Leaf stalk means this part. This region, this is called the leaf stalk. Why this is present in the leaf stalk? Because it helps in the form. It helps for the supporting of the parts of the plants. Why? Because let's understand. If suppose we are making up a plant. Okay, suppose example, and there is a wind blowing from this region. Wind blowing at a very high speed. Okay, let's understand like this. See, the wind is going to blow very fast, but that plant is not going to leave its position. Okay, the plant is going to stay in that region only. The plant is going to stay here only. The plant is not going to get cracked down or broken down. It is going to stay there only. So why it is possible that the plants or the leaf part haven't fallen down? Because of this collenchyma. Because this collenchyma means, the word collen means the glue, which is going to stick, and it is helps to give up the rigid position. Rigid means the strong position. Okay, which is not going to move. Okay, it is going to move, but it's not going to get broken down. Now let's talk, and even this collenchyma is living cell. Okay, now let's talk about this sclerenchyma. The word sclerenchyma, in this word sclera means the hard. Okay, see, there were three types of the supporting tissue: parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. After these three, only the sclerenchyma is non-living in nature. Okay, non-living means this is the only cell which is dead. This is the only part which is dead. The other ones are the other cells, like of parenchyma and collenchyma, are living cells. They have a thick wall due to the deposition of lignin. Okay, due to the deposition of lignin. Now, what is this lignin? This lignin is nothing but it provides the fats. Okay, deposition of lignin means lignin is a material, and lignin, in an easy or a better term you can understand, provides fats. Okay, it helps to give up the strength. So deposition of this lignin gives up that strongness to that plant. It helps to provide the strength to the parts of the plants. Okay, even the function of the collenchyma was the same only, but where exactly it is present? It is present in the stem region and in the veins of the leaves. Okay, veins of the leaves means, suppose this is the leaf, so it is present here in this region. These are nothing but the veins part. Okay, these are the veins part. So here the sclerenchyma is present. Why they are present in the veins? Because it helps to conduct up the water, so that the water can be easily conducted through this sclerenchyma. Okay, so this parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma are togetherly called as the simple tissues. Why they are considered to be the simple tissues? Because they are made of one type of cells only. They are made of one type of cell only. What do you mean by that? See, parenchyma is made up of the parenchymatous cell. Collenchyma are made up of the collenchymatous cell, and sclerenchyma are made up of the sclerenchymatous cell. Okay, so they are made up of one type of cells only. Now this is a conducting system. We have already covered up this conducting tissues in your 8th standard. Okay, that is the transportation of water in plants. So in the supporting tissues we have considered the 3 parts, that is paren, collen and scleren. These were considered to be the simple tissues, but these conducting tissues are not simple. So what they are? Think. They are opposite of simple. They are complex. Okay, why they are said to be complex? As I have already said, okay, they are made up of one cells, but this xylem and phloem are made up of many cells. They are made up of many cells, so that is why they have got a name of complex tissues. These are the xylem and the phloem. Now the word conducting, what do you mean by word conducting? The word conducting means transporting. What does the plant transport inside them? That is the water and the food. They are going to get transported. This is the xylem part and this is the phloem part. So just look at the diagram as of now. So we are going to start up right now. What is the function of this xylem and the phloem? The function of this xylem is for the conduction of water and the mineral salts from the roots to the aerial parts of the plants. What do you mean by the aerial parts of the plants? The part which is exposed above the surface of the soil. Suppose this is a soil, these are the root. Okay, the plant is going to absorb water in this root system, and definitely when this water is going to get absorbed in this root, so at that period of a time the transportation is going to occur, and this water would be carried upwards. Okay, in this stem region and in this leaf regions. Now where these xylems are exactly present? This xylem are exactly present in the central region. Okay, suppose this is a stem, this is a stem. Okay, and this, and suppose I'm going to make up a vessel like this, and this is nothing but the xylem, and the space here and here is phloem. Okay, it's phloem. Xylem have a thick wall. Why they have a thick wall? Because it helps in the conduction of water and the mineral salts. Okay, so while conduction the wall should be thick. If the wall is thin, so it won't be able to conduct up the water, and as the water is not going to reach up the upper parts of the plant, that is the aerial parts of the plant will die. So that is why the wall should be very thick in nature, of water and the minerals material absorbed from the soil and transport to the other parts of the plants. Instead of other parts of the plants, we can call it as at a aerial parts of the plants, because this xylem is unidirectional. What do you mean by the word unidirectional? Unidirectional means from root to stems and to the leaves it is going to get transported. Now let's talk about the xylem cells. As this already said, xylem tissue is a complex tissue. It is made up of a different type of cells. It is made of tracheids, xylem and xylem parenchyma. So this tracheids and xylems works together for the conducting system. they work together for the conducting system, and the same period of a times tracheids and xylem vessels are together called as the tracheary elements. What they are called? They are called as the tracheary elements. So why they have this different words? Okay, why they don't have a single words like tracheids and vessel together? Why they have been written differently like tracheids and vessels in a different way? Because there is a difference in their shapes. Because of the difference in the shapes, these tracheids are usually small in diameter. Okay, these tracheids are small in diameter, and these vessels are quite big in diameter. Okay, they are quite broad, I mean to say. Okay, they are shorter in length. These tracheids are shorter in length, means the height is short, but the height of this xylem vessel is quite tall. Okay, elongated, I can say. So let's see this part. See, there are the different types. Okay, so let's understand which shape is what. Okay, this is the tracheids. We can see out here what I said. Okay, the diameter is small. We can see it's small only, and it is shorter in length also. And when we talk about the xylem vessel, so it has the bigger diameter. Okay, and it is quite big in length as well. As of now, you just don't compare up with the diagram, because this diagram is a cross section. It is quite greater than this tracheids. Okay, like this is greater than this tracheids. And both function in a same way. They provide the mechanical support and they help in the conduction function. This both. Okay, and this is the xylem fibers. What is the work of the xylem fiber? This is a dead in nature. Okay, and at the same period of a time it is going to provide up the support to the plants. Okay, while conduction of the water happens inside the plant should get a sufficient amount of water, and that too at the proper time. Okay, so this provides the protection so that none of the stem parts get damaged or something like that. Now we are going to discuss about the third part, that is the parenchyma, xylem parenchyma. Xylem parenchyma is the living cells. The above two were dead because their function was for the conduction. This parenchyma you have already heard about in the supporting system. You are going to heard this word now also. What is the function of this parenchyma? It helps in the storage of the food. Okay, in the storage of the food. So whenever during the night time when the plants need the food, okay, because in the night time there is no sunlight, so definitely the plant won't be able to make up their food. So this parenchyma helps to store up the food, and during night times this parenchyma helps in the conduction of this water and mineral salts also. Now we are going to talk about the phloem. The phloem functions for upward and downward both direction. Okay, first of all, as the xylem was unidirectional, but this is said to be the bidirectional in nature. Okay, bidirectional means both the ways. The function of the xylem was transporting water and the mineral salts, but the function of the phloem is for the conduction of food. Okay, proper food. Now a question arises, where does the plants prepare their food? Many of them would be quite aware about this part, that the plants prepare their food in the leaf, and when these plants prepare up this food, at the same period of a time it transport to the each and every part of the plants. Like it is going to give this food part to the root systems also, and this food is going to get towards the top part also. Okay, the work of the phloem is bidirectional, that it is going to, when the phloem is going to, when these leaves are going to get prepare the food, so it is going to get transported in the upward and in the downward region. Basically all the parts of the plants it is going to get transported. Now let's talk about the phloem cells. These phloem cells have been classified into 4 types: sieve tubes, companion, parenchyma, and phloem fibers. See, we are going to see this. Okay, first we are going to see up the diagram of this sieve tubes. Sieve tubes help in the transport of food from the leaves to the other parts of the plants. So basically the function of the sieve tubes is for carrying of the is for transporting of the food from the leaves to the other parts of the plants. Okay, see, we can see this area out here. This is nothing but the sieve plate. We can see out here also. This is the sieve plate. Inside this sieve plate you can see many of the holes like this, many of these pores. Okay, holes means the pores. What is the function of these pores? The function of this pore is to help for the conduction of food, okay, in a perfect way. This structure, it is called as the sieve plate. Okay, this structure is called the sieve plate. Now this companion cell, this companion word is an English word. Okay, in English literature or language you have heard about this word, the companion. The word companion means the friend. Even the companion, the friend. Okay, what is the work of this friend? The work of this friend, like this companion cell I'm talking about, is to provide the protection to this sieve tube for the conduction of the food. Okay, this companion cell is closely attached with this sieve tube. You can see out here. See, this is the sieve tube. This is the companion cell, and this is the sieve tube. It is closely attached because the word companion means the friends. So they are attached together. Now, even the companion cells and sieve tubes both help in the conduction. Okay, why? What is the need of this companion cell? See, sieve elements can carries up the food, right? Then what is the need of this companion cell? See, companion cell is quite larger in size, and the sieve elements are quite shorter in size. This companion cells have a large amount of nutrition stored in it. Large nutrition stored in it, whereas the sieve element has a lesser amount of a nutrition or no nutrition. So as this is larger, quite mature and fully with the nutrition, it helps up the sieve tubes for the carrying or the conduction of the food. And again we can see up the phloem fibers. This is the phloem fibers. Okay, they basically mainly provide up the function of support. Okay, they are just going to give up the support so that the plant does not get wilt off. Okay, does not get wilt off. Even we will have a parenchyma in this part, and again the parenchyma function is same as of the xylem parenchyma. It will function for the storage of the food. Okay, mainly helps with the storage of starch, fats, and the other organic food. What is a starch? Starch is a type of a carbohydrate. Okay, this xylem and phloems are togetherly called as the vascular bundles. Okay, they are togetherly called as the vascular bundles. So this is the basically classification. So what we have studied in today's lecture. See if you can. This was a plant tissue which has been divided into two parts. That is the meristematic, and the other one is the permanent. Okay. This have been divided into two parts, basically apical and lateral. Don't look in this part. Okay. Intercalary. This is not there. This apical is also called as the terminal, and this lateral is called the cambium. Now we are going to talk about the permanent, the cells which have lost their ability to divide. They have been classified into three systems. Okay. Then main function is for providing of the they have been classified into three types. One more I am going to make. They will work for the protection. Okay. They are going to work for the supporting, and they are going to work for the conduction part. Again, this supporting have been classified into three: parenchyma and sclerenchyma. And this conducting has been classified into two parts, that is the xylem and the phloem. Okay, we have discussed each and everything in detail about this. So this was all about the plant tissue. So this was the part 1 of the tissue. Thank you, students.